Hello, welcome to my channel, Renzo here. Okay, today I'm gonna paint Ben Affleck's with acrylics. The colors I have are titanium white, medium yellow, brilliant red, ultramarine blue, and ivory black. My brushes, I always use synthetic brushes. I have round, filbert. I have this kind of diagonal brush. I have a flat brush. Okay, let's sketch. See? Hello, Cage. Hello, Monique. Hello, Clave. Sorry if I mispronounce the name. Okay, I have a glass of water here, and I have this to spray water on my paintings. Gonna mix blue, red, and yellow. Just I want to mix brown, a neutral brown. Okay, this is enough for drawing. Just a minute. Okay, let's see the top and the bottom of the head. Where's gonna be the top? Okay, here with my canvas. Okay, and the head is gonna be here. I mean, imagine that you can put the head inside of a rectangle shape. In this way, you can calculate where is gonna be your head. Let's see here, maybe a little bit to the right. Let me see the space that I have for mixing. Yeah, I think that's gonna be okay. Okay. Now, when I have the top of the head and the bottom of the head, the eyes, are in the middle. Okay. Don't count hair. Just imagine that you don't see hair. Okay, now the center line. Now another line for the brows, and once we have the brows, the nose is going to be in the middle. From the brows to the chin, the nose in the middle. Okay? Don't think about anything more, it's just simple proportions. It's the canon. Okay. Let's see the overall shape. Okay, I have the overall shape of the face. I have this line for the eyes, the nose around here, and the mouth here. Okay, to find the position of the mouth, do the same. Split this in half, and this is going to be the bottom of the bottom lip. That means on top of this line, you put the mouth. Not the middle of the mouth, I mean the whole mouth. Okay? Okay, this is a basic structure. Let's say another thing that usually happens on the face, this is a 45-degree angle here in the middle of these lines, the cross where these two lines cross. You can trace from here a 45-degree angle, and usually this point here, that's going to be the corner of this eye. So this is not perfect, but at least it's going to give you an idea. Okay, to have the right proportions. And from here, of course, we need to move that a little bit up, a little bit down, to the left, to the right. and of course use our observation. Okay, now let's paint. With this I think that's enough. I cannot do this thing about the 45-degree angle for this eye because of the position. This 45-degree angle just works when the face is in a front view, and when this is a trichory view, usually works in one side of the face, the side that we see most of the face. Okay, let's paint. Okay, let's mix an orange. Okay, and let's knock down this orange with white and blue. Let's see, it's just too yellowish, yeah? Too orangey. Yeah, that's not gonna work for the skin color. I'm gonna add more red, more white and blue. Sometimes I use black because it's just faster to gray down any color with gray, which is just white and black. And sometimes I use blue. It's up to you. I mean, if you choose to use black, just be careful because black is just a strong color and it doesn't affect any color really fast. I'm squinting down my eyes and trying to see just the lid area and the shadow, light and shadow, just that. Trying to represent just right now two colors, two values, no more. Okay. Hello, Weria. Hello, Antonio. Hello, Sassy. Hello, Dania. Hello, Anna. I need my palette knife. Right now I'm just using the acrylic paint. I'm not even using water. You know, at the beginning I prefer to establish the thickness here, because later I'm going to use more thin paint to make the corrections, and I want this to get dry because when the acrylic is thick, it takes a little bit of time to dry. It doesn't dry that fast. I mean, I'm working with this brand Reefs. You can find a link in the description box to a simple set of 6 colors that you can buy from Amazon. Okay. More white, more red, At the beginning, I just not so worried about to match the exact color. Okay, I have enough of time to correct this, add more paint, and change this color. Hello, Eve. I'm spraying water on my brush, just like this, just to keep it wet, because I'm going to use another brush for the shadow. Running out of white. Okay, let's paint the shadow. Now when I do this, I consider this drawing tool because I'm trying to copy the shape of the shadow. I'm gonna soften this. Okay, let me see. One eye is here, the other eye is here. Nose, mouth, chin. Okay, I'm trying to keep the same proportions. I mean the basic proportions and the canon. A little bit of water. Well, let's see the beard. Okay, I need a greenish color for the beard, not more yellow. Blue and yellow, I need more yellow. here. A little bit of red and black to mix a dark brown. Okay, this is too dark. I need more yellow and red. Okay, I do this, step back. I think I have the overall shape right. I can see that the shape of the face is pretty similar to the photo, the width and the height. Yep. And the proportions, I think that's okay too. Maybe the nose is a little bit larger. Maybe I should reduce the nose a little bit. Oh, not yet. I mean, I just need to paint more. Okay. Okay, what Java? Oh yes, there's a link on the Amazon. Okay, she's asking me, is acrylic easier to work than oil? To be honest, it's kind of no. I mean, I think it's both materials have pros and cons, and no, I mean, I keep saying that what I love about acrylics is, I mean, it's not like we're gonna just love one little thing about in oil or acrylics, but I loved that something that is kind of difficult to love about acrylics is the dry time. Yeah, because but this is happening because I got used to work in this way. I'm pretty sure that as soon as I try some medium that slow down the process of the drying time process, maybe I'm not gonna like anymore just the acrylics to dry too fast. But right now I count on that. Yeah, I count on the drying time. It's the same with oils. I count on the slower dry time. Yeah? If you give me oils that dries in 20 minutes, I mean, I don't count on that. That's gonna be so difficult for me. And if you give me acrylics that dries in a couple of days, that's gonna be the same for me, because I mean I don't expect that. And yeah, it's just that I mean we kind of get used to something, and we have like a different mindset every time that we work with oil paints, every time that we work with acrylics. And if somebody just changed me that, pretty sure I'm gonna have problems to adapt myself to the material. I mean, it's gonna take me a little bit. That's why I don't use anything to slow down the dry time process. Yeah, it's just that. The brand of these acrylics is Reefs. There is a link in the description box. It's not. These are cheap acrylics, not the cheapest one that you're gonna find, but definitely the link is like a set of 6 colors. The colors I use, I think there's a little difference in the red. I don't remember. For I think it's $30. I think. Check out the link. I think this is really good. It's better to use good acrylics for the beginners. So I have a question for Anamalo. I think it all depends on the personal budget. the personal. I mean, I have seen. I remember I had a student that he started to paint, and he was just okay. I want to buy the best of the best. I'm gonna say you can afford it. That's okay, and he did it. And usually, a student, usually as a student, I used to buy the cheapest thing that I could find. But I mean, you gotta understand that the cheapest materials are not gonna work. I mean, that's not a good option. It's better to buy something that is not too expensive, not too cheap. I think that's the best option. So you try to paint yellow. Oh, yellow! Wow, that's gonna be my next painting. Hello, Maggie. Hello, Manuel. Okay, I'm gonna try to make some details on the eyes here. You know, you see, if you see the eye, I mean, you don't see too much. But that's what I want right now, because for me, right now this is like a sculpture. Okay, if I squint down my eyes watching the photo, I mean, I don't see details when I squint down my eyes, and that's exactly what I have here. No details, and that is enough to see the position of the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. That's what I want right now. And at the same time, you know that we sometimes choose to paint a lot of details, and sometimes we choose just to paint a more painterly approach. That means that more, like say, bold brush strokes without details. And for both things, it just works to see the painting, the image like a sculpture, and start working the form. Oh, I need to add water. This is something that I keep forgetting. I'm going to do this to my brush. Spray water. I don't want them to dry. Okay, I don't want to clean them because maybe I'm gonna use it. This is the brush for this color. Still wet, you see. I can use it to retouch. Since remember that acrylics dries a little bit darker. I don't know if you can see the difference. Let me show you the difference. You see here, this is the same brush, this color. I add this brush stroke. It looks a little bit lighter than around, yeah? Well, it's not a little bit lighter, it's just that it's wet. As soon as it gets dry, it's gonna be the same color. Unless, of course, I made a mistake and I pick up a little bit of white here. But no, usually, I mean, that happens with acrylics. It dries a little bit darker. Almost nothing. I mean, if you don't pay attention to that, you're gonna be okay just painting. Yeah, don't let that thing get into you, because you're gonna be like thinking, oh my god, it's gonna dry darker, it's gonna dry dark. I don't know what's this color is right or not. Just forget about that. It's just we need to know just everything about the material. But in this case, ignore this, it's better. Okay, one way that I have for blending is just apply the paint and pick up a clean brush, usually a round brush. I wet the brush a little bit and I do this. Okay, more than blending, just you know that it's just like fading one layer on top of the other. Okay, and I continue doing that. Sometimes when the painting is wet, or I mean this is wet and this is wet, two values wet, I can blend just there like it was oil paint. But since this is dry too fast For me, it's just about, let's say, do this, pick up a brush, a wet brush, and do this. Okay. Now don't overblend, because acrylics, I don't think that's gonna work with acrylics if I stay here. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the reason, because it's gonna dry faster. Okay, now you see that, okay, the color is not right. I'm gonna change it. You see two values, light and shadow. There is a lot of more values here. Highlight, a little bit of shadows. I need to start painting those values at the same time. I can change the color right now. Once I have established light and shadow, I have a better idea about the volume or the three-dimensionality on the face, and at the same time it's useful for me to compare the shape, like something flat. Remember that it's always easier to compare shapes. I can see that I have a mistake here. I have to close this. Okay, I need more green. Okay. That's blending there. You know that don't leave any sharp edge, because usually we leave sharp edges here on the hair. That's just it's not okay. Okay, it's gonna look flat. Let me see, it looks kind of yellowish on my screen. It doesn't look that yellowish here on the painting. I think maybe it's about changing something here on the camera. I think that's better. Okay, I'm stepping back, checking out. Okay. Hello Rose, hello Maggie, hello Anita, hello Pop, hello Hosan. Okay, let's continue. Add more paint here. I just want to add more texture, and you know we can add always more paint to the lights. There's a little bit of yellow here. The last time I remember I added some paint with palette knife, something like that. I was tempted just to leave it like that, and at the end I just erase it. It's kind of I like it, but at the same time I don't know if that's gonna be okay. Maybe it's too distracting. Maybe let's see if I try that at the end. Let's see. You know, once you have the proportion right, you can try to do anything. You can put a lot of paint here. I mean, I know that this is the light is here. I mean, I can do whatever I want in this area. Speaking about color, because when it gets dry, I can add a glaze and change that color. I mean, that happens with oil too. I mean, it's not just about acrylics. That's why we see sometimes some brush strokes on the highlights. That I love those brush strokes. Looks really good. Like add some I don't know, some like feeling. It's like you can feel the presence of the human being that just added that brush stroke. I don't know. I'm just trying to explain something that maybe it's not possible to explain. Okay. Remember about ears. Usually the ear is the same size. You can split the face in 3 portions. Remember, 1, 2, 3 portions, and just the ear is the same size, like is from the brow to the nose. Could be a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. Depends on the subject, but usually it's really close. Stepping back, squinting down my eyes, I still see the proportion of his face, which I think is really good. Let me see. Yeah, everything is okay. I'm going to wet this brush, and I use another brush. Okay, I think I can use this one. You see what's happening here? I'm kind of lifting up the paint. I see the canvas. Okay, I'm just going to add more paint here. Okay, I need to let it dry to work there. Okay, this gives me an idea about adding more saturation to the shadow. Yeah, make it more transparent. I mean, if I do that, I have to do the same with all the shadows. Let's see if that works. I need to step back. It's just too light right now, too bright, but it's not about putting orange all around the shadows. I mean, just some accents. I have to keep some grayish color, like here for example. I have to go back on that, a little bit of black, white is gray, to gray down this. Now if you work comfortable with black, you can use it a lot when you paint a portrait to gray down any color. It's just faster. Okay. Sometimes when you're trying to gray down an orange, you end up with some kind of violet. That means that you added too much red maybe to the mixture. In that case, a gray, black and white is more, it gives you just right away a more neutral color. But at the same time, I mean, you can end up with really muddy colors if you don't control the mixture. Okay. Let's see, if I have this orangey here, definitely I need more orange here. And that's the good thing about acrylics. I can do this, and if I don't like it, I can change it just really fast. You know, because it's gonna get dry really fast. I mean, that would add something to the painting. Yeah. I'm trying something, I mean, with color, but I don't even know if I'm gonna just keep it this, because I'm doing something simple. I mean, is every time that I try to add more color to a painting, is think about the light. Where is the light coming from? Or the reflected light coming from? And you can use the reflected light and change the color of this reflected light. Let's say that here I have an orange reflected light, and that's why I imagine that that light is hitting here, hitting here, hitting here. It's hitting all the areas on the face that are facing this reflected light. Okay, it's just like all the lid area is facing what? Or first, or main light source. You can change the temperature of this light too. It's up to you. Play with color. Just remember that color is light, and you have to understand how light hits an object and spreads around the object. Okay, and for example, if I make this orange, this area I need an even more bright orange. Why? It's the same here. Why here the light is too bright and not here? The same reason. That's how lights hit an object and spread on the object. And this reflected light is follow the same. I cannot put orangey, strong orange here, strong orange here, and strong orange here. Okay, at some point I have to work on that and try to control the amount of color and see how it's gonna, in what areas it's gonna work. There, those accents. Okay, I'm gonna leave that to dry. I'm gonna work on the lightness. Okay. Yeah, we can do anything to color, but sometimes when the lightness is not there, we sometimes feel like the work, the painting is not complete. But you gotta know that the lightness is maybe the last thing that you have to be too worried about. That's gonna be difficult to get. And what can we do? I mean, just try, always try. And don't get discouraged if you don't get it. Just relax and try to enjoy the painting process. I'm pretty sure you won't, but try. If you don't want to paint alone, you can join my Patreon account and paint along with me and with a group of nice people. There. Wow, that's a nice commercial. So don't want to paint alone. This eye is going to be really difficult to get. see, let's step back. Hello, Sam. Hello, Nicola. Anita, do you consider your paintings to be realistic? Hello, Barbara. Hello, Maggie. To be realistic, yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, representing just a face. Yeah, it's realistic. Yeah. Maybe you mean something like more like a photograph. I mean, that's different. Yeah? But realism, if even if I, let's say, add paint with a palette knife, as soon as you see a face, that's realistic. I'm just representing a face. Realistic is not always just about making really everything really soft or smooth out the brush strokes. Not always about that. Let me see the ear here. There's a little bit of a reflected light here. It's gonna be kind of difficult to get. I think it's here. Yeah. Okay, something is wrong here. The width. I can tell that the width was not right. I need to move this reflected light. Not yet, not yet. Just I'm gonna leave it there, but no, I have to fix something here. Okay, I add the brush stroke. If with another brush, this wet, I blend a little bit. Okay, you can continue doing. I can continue doing this during the whole process. Right now that I have established light and shadow, I can go like again here. I change the brush and I blend. Okay. Let's see the highlight on the nose. Where's the highlight on the nose? It's here. Light here. Okay, let's blend. I need to open, this is a round brush, but I need to open the hair a little bit like this. It's kind of a combination between, let's say, end up being more like a filbert brush. Okay, and then I do this. Because a round brush is just too pointy and I'm not going to be able to blend, okay? If you try to do this, just maybe you're going to be doing this with your hands, trying to get that shape. Okay. not really too far to get from getting the likeness, but it's been 50 minutes. I have plenty of time. I just keep checking always the proportions. I mean the measurements on the face, like from the brow to the nose to the chin, and all of that. Okay, and then it's just working on details. Most than making, let's say, details, working on these subtle values. Like here, there's no, this is not flat. There's a little bit of shadow here, a little bit of no shadow. All those things, that's for the likeness. Yeah, that's what makes the face. Okay, for example, here. Now, just one thing. If I'm going to work, for example, here, I gotta be sure that this color is knocked down. I'm not gonna add a pure color or pure orange there. Why? Of course, because I want this to create the illusion that this is something that is round. You gotta be thinking always about color theory. If you add a pure color here, it's gonna make this pop forward. If you add a grayish color here, it's gonna make this recede. That's color theory. That's not about painting a face. Okay, you know color theory, and you're gonna be able to add volume to anything you paint just by following those simple rules. But the problem that with a face that is, we have a lot of things to paint, to deal with, and we tend to forget that, and sometimes we tend to use maybe the same mixture. This mixture that is here, we tend to add this color to the corner, to the edge, and at the end we have the forehead, let's say, flat. And the idea, of course, is to see that this is a bump. We're not gonna get this bump if the color here is maybe too bright, it's too saturated. Okay. Hello, Santos. Say Michael. Hello, Michael. How are you? Hello, Sudip. Okay. Now this is a knockdown color. Yeah, I mean this is a grayish color that I said that I'm using, just following that color theory rule, and I can change now to a more saturated color. Here, it's too dark, eh? And of course the color for the nose, I can even saturate that a little bit more. Even that this light here, I need to find a way to work on that light and make the nose pop forward. For example, here, if you want the nose to pop forward, what do you do? Speaking about color, you have to, it's not just about working the nose, it's about working the colors around the nose. What would you do with those colors? You're gonna grade down those colors. It's just that. Remember, it's just as color theory. You're not gonna find that if you try to look like color theory for a portrait. No, it's color theory is color theory for everything. Painting a portrait, a landscape, still life, for everything. Let's see, the difficult thing about his face, that's going to be, of course, trying to capture he has some kind of sadness on the face. I don't know, I mean, that's what I think. That's my dog. Stepping back. Okay. Hello, Linda. I was looking at your other videos. Thank you. Hello, Gilbert. I'm gonna have a lot of work in this eye. Okay, I need to work on the shadow here, this on the brow. That's too orangey. I need more blue. Oh my god, I forgot to spray water paint. Spending too much time here, but I just want to get this eye right. Since this the other eye is just in shadow. Here I'm not gonna work that much. I mean, I'm gonna spend some time because it's kind of difficult because I don't see that much. But definitely it's more about get this eye right in the expression. That's the difficult thing. Okay, and I'm not getting that. Anyway, I mean, it's just about working more here. Okay, let's move to the nose. I paint and I soften the paint with this brush. It's wet. Okay. I need a new brush. This is the set of brushes I'm using lately. I had like 6 of this. Now I have like 2, I think. You know, my daughter, she's working on illustrations, and you know that she sometimes she loves these brushes. Yeah, these brushes are just amazing. I mean, they're cheap and they work perfectly. I didn't put the link in the description box, but I will. But the brand is really easy to see. Oh, it says. Oh wow. It says. That's the problem with this. It says here. It says Bianju. Eh? And here it says Van Dyck. It's the same brush. Okay. I'm gonna try to look for the link. Okay, I promise. I have to add a little bit of green for this color. This brush is wet. No, I mean, I dip the brush in water. I do this, okay? Or sometimes I just squeeze out the water and then I use it. I need to step back. Okay. I see some mistakes. Okay, the eye is just the brow, the eye, the nose. So many things to deal with. Okay, the nose here. Blend a little bit. Now the brow here. Paint and use this brush to soften the brush stroke. Okay, again. This is just like a glaze to darken the lower eyelid. Okay, let's see the reflected light on the nose, because the shape of the nose is not right. It's too light. Yeah. Okay, hello Gilbert. I want to try. I'm trying to figure out the lighting of this photograph. Yes, I mean the light is from the left. It's a little bit of a reflected light, a little bit. I mean there's always reflected light. Sometimes more or less intense. Pug Gaming, tell me more about yourself. I just love painting, but due to lack of resources I can't do anymore. I mean there are materials that are really cheap, and one way to keep us always close to painting, close is drawing. And for drawing we don't need too much. I mean, I live in Peru, no, in South America. When I was an art student, for me, everything it was about just the cheapest things that I could find, I could buy. I mean, and that was for everybody, for my friends. You know, we loved to do art, but sometimes we have to just to, I mean, we cannot spend too much money on materials, because art materials are expensive. And when I was in my, I started to study in the School of Art when I was in my, I think, 18 years old. It was too young, yeah? And it was too young, and where can I get the money? The only way it was just trying to save as much as possible on our materials. Just the cheapest one, and I don't know, I don't even remember the brands, but definitely they were really cheap. And for drawing, I remember for a couple of years I had just one, I worked with just one pencil. It's graphite. I think I even have one here. No, I don't have it. It's what we call, it's kind of a really soft graphite, but when you see, it looks like a charcoal pencil, but it's not charcoal, it's graphite. It looks like a charcoal pencil. I mean, the lead is thick. It's nothing like a regular graphite pencil. okay, but that's really soft, and that was it for me. Just that. If I want to make something really soft, it was just pressure less. If I want something dark, pressure more. Yeah? And that's a good training. I mean, because yeah, and I remember. That some of a few of my friends, maybe they had like, because I mean, it was the same situation for all of us. I'm not saying that it was just for me. It's like 60% of our, maybe 80% of our students, we have to deal with that. We dealt with that at that time. And right now it's the same. I mean, I was a teacher for a year, about three years ago in the School of Art. It's the same. Eh? I remember I loved to paint with my students. I loved to draw with them, draw along with them, and paint with them. And I remember once one of my students told me, "Yeah, I mean, you get those colors. Your painting is looking okay because I mean you're using a different paint. We don't have that. That's too expensive for me." He told me to use. I mean, I don't use expensive brand, but it was expensive for him. And I said, okay, if I wanna show something like how to do something, we all have to be in the same level. Yeah? And then I started to use the paint, the cheapest paint. It was kind of okay, but you can tell there are some differences. Yeah. Well, that was a really amazing experience because, you know, it was just like going back on time. For me, it was like that. For every one of my friends. It's like everywhere. Eh? I mean, the School of Art here, there are here in Lima let's say three or four School of Arts. One is the just fine arts. Is you don't pay anything. You just get into the school. You pay one fee for just the whole year, really cheap. And then you have a private school from the university where you pay more, obviously. And if you don't have enough money, you're gonna get, I mean, obviously, and you love art, you're gonna get to the National School of Art. That's where I have studied for 6 long, beautiful years. See what I'm doing? I'm adding paint, and then with the other brush I soften the paint, and we have to go back and forth because it's about just trying to get the right values. For example, here's a little bit darker this. Maybe because I want to do this dark, I'm gonna make it maybe too dark, and I have to go back and add a lighter color, and maybe it's gonna be too light again, and I have to add more paint again and again and again. That's just repetition, repetition, repetition. Puck Gaming is asking me, is necessary to join art school or it can be done by itself? Nowadays, I mean, you can learn to paint by just watching YouTube videos. See you, Monique. Okay. And yeah, I mean, somebody saying if this is hard, yeah, this is hard for real. I'm struggling here. I mean, it's never that fun. I mean, maybe sometimes, I mean, it's never fun. You're painting a face, trying to get the likeness. There is always some difficulty on this. Always. You think I'm having fun? No. The fun is at the end when I see the face that is getting close to what I want, and I say, oh my god, this, okay, now I feel that it's worth all the effort. But in the process, it's not fun. The process is just a challenge, or every time. I've been painting this for 20, 30 years, portraits, and every time is the same. Every time is a challenge. Now, sometimes there are like, let's say, faces that looks like they are kind of easier to paint. Yeah, that happens, and sometimes there are just portraits that I don't know what happened, that it looks like I cannot get the right. I have the proportions right, I have everything right, and something is missing, and I don't know what it is. And since I mean, by experience, I don't try to stress out too much myself with this. I don't even think about that. I finish up and then I move to the next painting, and that's it for me. This is still wet. This is what I hate about when I add thick acrylics. It didn't dry. I mean, it's been like this for, look at that, for, I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit wet for the last hour. I did apply these brush strokes at the really beginning because I wanted to dry, yeah, at least for the next hour, but it's been an hour and it's still wet. Okay. I was saying that somebody asked me about studying the School of Art or not. I mean, nowadays, definitely not. I mean, it's too much information out there. I mean, here in YouTube is just a lot of information, a lot of free information, and yeah, it's just the only difference. You know what is that the only difference is that we choose what we like, and that's good and bad at the same time. Why? Because as an art student, when I was an art student, of course, I mean, I always study all the time. Yeah? We keep learning our whole life. We don't choose what to paint. Sometimes we don't like what we paint. We don't like the subject. we think it's just a waste of time. I mean, but it's necessary to somebody just to tell us someday, paint this, draw this. I mean, you don't like it, but it's gonna be good for your training. And when we just choose to study by ourselves, we don't do that. We just tend to pick up what we like, what we want to draw and paint. And it's kind of, we are skipping too many themes, let's say themes or subjects that are going to be good for us. It's like, for example, when I was in the School of Art Drawing, usually the teacher used to pick up a model that was fat, and then next week a model that was muscular, and then next week a really thin model, a really thin and slim model that we can see just the bones through the skin. And yeah, you know, sometimes we don't do that when we choose ourselves what to paint or what to draw. We always choose the beautiful images because that's what we want, that's what inspires us, and it's not good always. It's like, I remember so many, oh, I have to add water a minute to my brushes. I remember one student, I think he was maybe 18 years old. He was in the School of Art. He was, oh my God, I mean, I draw really good, and now I'm drawing boxes and cylinders. Yeah, I don't think that's really boring. I mean, and you know, in the School of Art, usually we draw and paint that for 1 year, just boxes, spheres, cylinders, cones. And at the beginning, for at least 3 months, it's just about black and white. With oil paint, black and white. At the same time with drawing. In drawing, we draw the same. It was the same when I was a student. It was the same when I was a teacher 3 years ago. And what can I say? It's boring? Yeah, it's boring. But it's what we need. It's what the student need. Imagine yourself like a self-taught student. Maybe you're gonna say, okay, well, maybe this guy is right. I'm gonna draw a sphere with a cube today. I'm pretty sure you're not gonna repeat that tomorrow or in a week. You're gonna say, okay, that's enough. Yeah? But let me tell you, in the School of Art, maybe you're gonna draw or paint a cube, a sphere with a coin, different positions, with different lighting, of course. Maybe for 3 months, daily. Okay? Now, you all tell me, what is the difference between being self-taught and studying in the School of Art? Is that, and at the same time, it's the training. School of Art is just like going to a gym to work out. Yeah? Why? Because we stay there drawing and painting like daily for 4 or 5 hours. It's a lot. That's why well, we can compensate that by drawing at home, like at least 20 minutes a day, an hour a day, or painting. Yeah? It's just different. It's just like in a School of Art, it's just like a preparation for a competition. Daily, daily, daily. Puck is asking me, Renzo, please try to draw Indian celebrity painting. Many YouTubers, they don't have 1% of your skill and they have millions of subscribers. There's a vast audience in India. Yeah, I will. Well, I'm painting on canvas, cotton canvas. Hello, Dennis. But medium I love the most, oil of acrylics. Okay, I've been asking this question like so many times. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I love both. Mm. I love the difference between one and the other. But it's like how can I say? I mean, right now I'm struggling with this portrait, and if let's say that if I was painting with oil paints, I will struggle with this painting too. You know, that's material. The material doesn't make a difference when we have problems with the likeness proportion of with that. Hmm. I'm repeating this for the I think just for the last hour. I paint, and with the other brush I just softening the paint, okay? Just like this. I add paint, I'm not softening the paint with the other brush. Okay, just the only thing that I hate about, I gotta say, mostly maybe about acrylics, that sometimes I want them to drive fast, normal, and I have to deal with some areas that they don't dry. I don't like that. I just want to, and I mean, I'm experiencing that in some areas because I paint and I blend, and when I try to blend, it's kind of I lifting up the paint from that area. I have to be really soft. Right now, another thing that I'm working just with thin paint, because you know I added more paint at the beginning, and now it's kind of easy just to work with few paint and blend. I add the paint and I blend. Okay. Okay, here's gonna be a problem. I don't see anything. Speaking about the School of Art and about being self-taught, uh, sometimes at the same time, another thing that happens that is about not the subject that we paint, it's about the materials we use. And for example, I experience working with, I don't know how's the name, but let's say wet charcoal, which is pretty difficult. Okay, I did that maybe a couple of times, 3 times. I didn't try it again for the next 20 years. And there are so many things that we try and we don't use anymore. But that's important, because we experience the material, we learn for that experience. Okay. And I think a couple of times I drew with coffee. The same. Yeah, that's something that I don't do now. I don't even think about doing that now. Maybe I will, just because to experience that again. But definitely something that I don't know. Maybe just for trying, for see what happens. But you know, those little things are just things that School of Art make us experience. And to compensate that, we have to try to look for different materials. There is a channel. I remember there is a channel that I usually saw so often, and there is a teacher that she tries different materials all the time. Maybe that's kind of the thing that's really close to a real School of Art. The name is, I think, is Art Prof, like art professor, the initial Art Prof. Really good. I mean, it's not about making that. I mean, if you see the channel, it's not, you're not going to see a complete painting or drawing, or maybe you do. I mean, I don't know, I haven't checked out the whole channel, but definitely, I mean, you're going to see how they use different materials. And that's really good. I want to do the same. To know that my son is the one that he pushed me to. I mean, not just him, but he was more like, Dad, I mean, do this, do this. Why don't you draw this guy? Why don't you paint this guy? Why don't you put more videos on your channel? I mean, because I had the channel and I didn't have too many videos. But he was okay. You have to do this, that, and now he's telling me at the time, hey, why don't you make a sculpture? Did you do a sculpture in the School of Art? Yes, I did. For how so long? For a year, I think. Okay, doing a sculpture, and I say, okay, I'm gonna bite the what's the name? Clay. And he's like, yeah, do it. Oh my God, I mean, it's kind of difficult, but I'm going to try it. Let me see, this is going to be difficult. a little bit more to the right. Yeah, I think that's okay. The reflected light here, yeah, I think that's okay. No, this shadow here is not okay. You see the shape of this brush is just like for a makeup brush. It's a brown brush, but it works perfectly for blending. Okay, stepping back. Okay, you know that the most important for me, I mean the likeness of course, and this kind of sadness that he has on her look, his look, sorry. Hello, with tables represented. Hello, Brennan. Hello, Fanchon. Thank you, Maggie. Maggie saying that I would be a great sculptor with my knowledge of anatomy. Hello, David McDonald's. Okay. Gilbert lesson. Oh, that's. That's nice. I think that's a good joke. Okay. Okay, let's continue working on the eyes. Specifically this eye. Well, it's too much water. I'm using a lot of water, okay? Let's imagine that I'm glazing. looks like oil paint, yeah? It's because of the, I mean, I added some thick brush strokes at the beginning. I add the brush stroke and I blend. And I repeat again. Okay, I blend. You know, it's more like fading more than blending. Okay, I need to add water. Just a minute. Okay, I think I'm getting close. Next minute, I think, oh my god, I'm just too far away for the likeness. Next minute, oh my god, I'm really good. Next minute, I'm suck. That's normal. Yeah, I need to add more change the thickness of the brow. Yeah. And work on the highlights. I think getting close. That was funny. Gilbert is saying, Gilbert is said, if someone is interested, Google me. I paint a little bit too. Okay, I'm going to do that, Gilbert Lizard. Have you been painting? Magic is asking me, have you been painting Rembrandt self-portrait with thickened pastel layers? No, I haven't, but I will try. Jace double G. I googled myself in a teenage sailor in Australia. Okay. Okay, let's continue painting. I'm gonna add more light to the forehead. I was right there. I did this highlight at some point. I don't know what happened. When I worked on this shadow, I just end up darkening this. I had to light up this again. Okay. Let me put some wrinkles. I'm using really transparent paint. I'm just going to do this. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to just copy the background. This is light here and dark here. gonna soft this edge. Okay. Let me step back. Okay, I think that's okay. Okay, I need to paint the ear. So many things yet. Is the blob next to him going to be Jennifer Lopez? Sorry that I'm speaking too much. I just got tired. Why you wanna ask me anything? Just you know, you're free to comment. And if you like my video, you can press the like button. I think I have painted this eye maybe too big. I have to think about that. I'm gonna reduce it from here, and I need to make I need to make the this eyebrow grow. I think it was too much. Thank you, Gilbert. adding just an orangey reflected light. At some point on the video I wanted to add a really strong reflected light. I'm still thinking of that, but I don't know. I'm just gonna think if it's gonna be okay to add this really warm reflected light. I'm mixing this color just with gray because I just want this, just knock down the color there. I don't care about this too much. I don't want to spend too much time here. Mixing black, red, touch of yellow, more red. We're Buzz saying, can you show us your studio one day if you don't mind? Yeah, we're, of course. One day, I don't know. Let's see, I have to just prepare, move my things to show you one day where our paint. I mean, it's different where I paint like a regular portrait and where I paint for YouTube. Right now I'm in a really small room. I picked up this room because I wanted to try to avoid all the noise on the streets and all of that, and at the end I really I was, let's say, successful about doing that. But the problem is that it's kind of difficult to be here, kind of everything close. It's just, I don't know, I work with oil paints. For acrylics, not a problem, but with oil paints, smear and all of that, I have to open a door here a little bit. Oh my god, I don't like this color. It kind of looks like kind of yellowish. And I mean, that's why you can hear. I know you can hear noises from the street, from my neighbor to my right, to my left. And this is the room. This is the last room at the home, just at the bottom of the house. Okay, I don't like this color. I think I ruined this area. I'm gonna clean out this. Okay, I need to prepare more paint again, gray. Prefer mix everything gray and go on top of this. Dark gray, and then I go again with skin color. Now, and then I have another space, another room for where I paint bigger portraits. But to be honest, I kind of just stay. I end up being here in this small room like the whole day. At the end, to make the live stream, I need a good computer. And with a good internet connection. And at the end, I'm here. Where is my very computer? I have another computer upstairs. It's not as good as this one. And I have another computer that I don't use anymore. And nobody wants to use it because, I mean, my son, he preferred to use the one that he considered the best to play. Because he just loves to play. PS4, I don't know, I mean, all those games. And at the end, I'm here basically a lot of time. And then I have another small space on my dad's. I don't go there like, I don't know, in a year. I have there a little bit of paint, some brushes, paints, canvases. And there, you know what? Because there is really in a quiet place. I don't listen to anyone, and even I have a room there. When I close the door, I don't listen anything from the house, nothing. And I used to go there to record some videos, but I mean, the problem is that, I mean, that place is perfect, but I cannot stay there like a couple of hours. It's not good for my health to be in a closed space. And right now, if I close the door here, pretty sure you're not gonna hear any noise, but definitely, I mean, for me, I just start to smell all the turpentine, all the things that I have here. the only thing I don't like about when I painting this, like the background, I have to be a little bit fast because I don't like sharp edges. You know, sharp edges are really are going to damage all the volume that you've been building up. A hard edge is just going to, you know, a hard edge always drives the tension and usually flatten any area. Okay, I'll try it, but I have a really hard edge here. Let's see. I'm going to darken the whole ear. Just a little bit, okay. It's too colorful. I don't. When something is, you know, too colorful, usually it come forward, it pop forward. I don't want that. I need to add a little bit of gray. I mean, I don't want a gray ear, but definitely I don't want this to pop forward. But we gotta be just careful that neutralize the ear to make it recede, and at the same time, I mean, not end up with a grayish ear, because that's not gonna work. Let's see, adding gray, really transparent. Okay, I think that works a little bit, but not perfect. I need to go back here and work. Okay, let me step back, check out. I think it's okay. I'm going to darken this area more because I don't want to work there, and that would be just too much. I mean, these areas are just particularly difficult, really difficult. It's more about creating the illusion that there's an eye there. Just that. I mean, we don't need to make details. You know, the best example of this is our Rembrandt's painting. You know, Rembrandt is a master of creating the illusion of that he has painted an eye in darkness, and when you get close to the painting, there's nothing there. It's a little bit of shadow, and that's enough to make us believe that there is kind of sometimes even a detailed eye. If you choose black, remember black is like a dark blue. If you add yellow, you're gonna have a dark green. You have just red, you can end up with kind of a purple color, a violetish color. Okay, what about the orange? This light that I wanted to add. I think I won't do that anymore. Now I'm gonna work with what I call dry brush. That means I'm not gonna use too much paint. I'm gonna use a dry brush, and that's gonna be something really close to scumbling in oil paint. Gilbert is telling me his upper lip might be a little thinner and darker. I'm not sure. Okay, thank you, Gilbert. I'm gonna check out that. Why do people hate Russian dolls? Thank you, Saumitra. Okay, let's see. My brush is dry. I try to dry out this as much as possible, and I pick up a little bit of paint. I'm not gonna add too much water. Nothing of water. Just with this, and I do this. Okay. This is what is called scumbling in oil paint. Just that. I have one wrinkle here, 2, 3 wrinkles. Okay, that's enough. In this way I can darken or change the color a little bit without adding too much paint. You can think about this like a dry glaze. I mean, a glaze is always wet and transparent. That's the idea. But this is dry, but at the same time it has some transparency. Maybe because it's just it's almost no paint. The only problem with this, if you don't like texture, is that you're gonna see some texture when you add texture because of the tooth of the canvas. I love this. You know what? It looks like more like an oil paint than acrylics. I love that. For example, here I think that it should be a little bit darker. Just here. I can use this. But just careful, really careful, because you know the acrylics dries a little bit darker, and then I can go like this. Almost nothing, okay? Enough. Yeah. The name is you gonna want to knock down any highlight. Let's say I'm gonna make this darker. I'll repeat again, darker color. Okay, this is dark. Well, I think it was too much. If, I mean, you paint something too dark, you have to go again over that and change it. For example, I did the same here. I think I just added too much shadow in this area. I go with this color and I paint here. Almost not. In this way you can retouch anything. Okay. In fact, I'm thinking one of these days I'm going to paint a complete portrait just using this, because I said before that I had a teacher that he painted his own creations just using dry brush. I mean, it takes maybe a lot of time. Definitely, maybe I'm gonna do maybe a couple of live streams to finish up a painting, but I think it's really good to try to do that. I mean, I loved my teacher's painting. I never tried because I thought it was just, I love alla prima because I love to paint faster. Okay, and that process is just, it takes a lot of time. I'm not saying that because I love alla prima I'm not gonna paint with a longer process or technique. Definitely, we need to always practice different techniques. If you want to paint as Rembrandt painted, definitely that's a really a long time. I mean, you're just gonna spend at least more than a month trying to paint it, trying to emulate Rembrandt's paintings. It depends, unless you're trying just to, let's say, make a quick study of. There's two ways to paint, let's say, study Rembrandt. One way that would be follow his process. I know, I mean, usually a painter process change with time, but let's say we follow his process from the beginning to the end, and the other way to study is just try to copy the painting, just the last layer. You know that what we see on a painting are just the last brush strokes of a painter. The first strokes, just we don't see them. I mean, they are being covered by more paint. And in order to study a painting, we have to go, let's say, go deep to try to see all those initial brush strokes, try to understand the process. Definitely for YouTube, the best way to do is just to make a study of the surface. I mean, copy what we see in the painting, instead of going and try to study the full process. Okay, what else? Anything, okay? We need to look for anything that we can fix with this. For example, I see that I need to, okay, I'm not using any water. I'm trying to use as not too much paint, almost nothing. This is a Scumbling. Okay, I see that this is a little bit darker. I go like this. This is for the end. I always do this because I don't want to continue adding more and more paint in this just simple way to change values and color at the end. And you can use this for everything. I mean, you want to add more red here. Okay, I'm mixing orange here. A touch of orange. Some touches, just touches, okay? You know that if we add some saturation on the shadows, we create some transparency there. No, that's something that sometimes we want that, sometimes we don't. We can continue at doing this, like adding more and more of this. Let's say glazing. Remember that we need a little bit of red on the cheeks, a little bit of red on the nose. For example, for the mouth, the upper lip, I see some red on the picture. On the photograph, I see a lot of red on the upper lip. Maybe that's too much for a painting. Okay. And you can push this even more and more. Imagine that you add more red, more red. But at some point we need to stop, but you can just push this and see what happens. And then using the same technique, the dry brush, you can just darken this again or gray down this again, instead of going on the process of painting this wet and trying to deal with the difficulty of blending acrylics. Okay. What else? I'm squinting down my eyes, checking out everywhere. Oh, here a little bit darker. Yep. Oh, a little bit darker up here. Yep. Yeah, there is a reflected light here that you can take advantage and add maybe blue or any color you want. I'm not gonna do that now because I'm just tired. I think that's it. It's a nice exercise, a good practice. Okay, I'm gonna change just the background because I don't like this kind of yellowish background. I prefer gray like the picture. I think it's pretty neutral. And just with that background I can see clearly the skin colors. Mixing black and white. I'm running out of white. That means my next acrylic painting that's gonna be maybe in a week, because I gotta go to the store to buy more white. Too bluish. It's just black and white. Since I'm not gonna work on details, at least I'm gonna try to create some atmosphere here. Yeah, what do you think? I'm painting on an easel. Hello Mary, how are you? Yeah, this acrylics, it doesn't dry that fast. I still feel that I should reduce the size of the eye. I think it's just too. Not so sure, not completely sure, but I feel this. I don't know. Something is not there about his face. Maybe more beard. Yeah, maybe more beard. Let's see. What else? Okay, time to eat here. I gotta go. Okay, what else? What else? What else? I should work a little bit more on the ear, but you know, I don't want to. I'm just tired. Just a little thing here. Okay, that's it for today. Doesn't he look like a Ryan Reynolds? Yeah. Oh, it's clear, it's flat. Yeah, thank you, Kepler. I'm gonna make this a little bit darker. Yeah, oh my god, how I didn't. Okay, that's it for today. Okay. I just want you to see the texture. This is because I added more thick acrylic paint at the beginning, and I love that. I mean, it wasn't my intention that it looks like. I mean, right now I think it looks like more like an oil paint. It wasn't my intention. It just I wanted some. Sometimes because with acrylics, sometimes we can work really thin. Because we add water and that's why I wanted to add. If you check out my channel, I have a couple of paintings with acrylics where I don't use too much paint. It's really thin layers. The effect is different. It's more smooth out. I knocked down the light, my camera a little bit. Okay, thank you so much, you all, for being here. Hope you like the video. Hope you like it. Thank you so much. See you next time. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna paint with oils. Let's see what to paint. Okay, bye, take care. Bye, Mary, thank you. Bye, Linda. Bye, Ang. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.